we are facing a systemic problem, which we are. Of course, as individuals, we are, people are colluding and complicit in a system. So of course we can change our own behaviour, but is that enough? And do we have, to get things happening really fast within a reasonable time scale before the planet totally fries, we need to move as quickly as possible. And to do this, we need to learn from other campaigns, other campaigners in the past, and see how they achieved the fantastic things that they achieved. And it wasn't easy. People didn't always consider that women were equal to men. Obviously a lot of people still don't. Women were seen as inferior, our brains are smaller, we have children, which is incredibly dodgy, obviously. Obviously, our reproductive organs are different, so we're definitely, we're not men, so not great. Seen as full of emotion, etc, etc, etc. So why should we be given the vote? Dedicated campaigners obviously thought otherwise, and after years of struggle it happened. The same thing with slavery. Slavery, I was astonished to find, was still legal up till about, I think it was just under 100 years ago. My goodness. Astonishing. In the UK, it was just really amazing. Again, you've got the same thing of dedicated bands of abolitionist campaigners, campaigning and campaigning. Everybody thought, the normal average person in the street thought that clearly slavery was a great thing, because clearly, the slaves were clearly not as fantastically superior as basically the white people that were enslaving them. Clearly, if you were a brown person, obviously every right-thinking person would say, yeah, in those days, inferior. They would say a lot of other terrible things as well. And it would all be part of the common discourse that slaves were absolutely, not human. They were not human, they were animals. And you can look at other campaigns like, for gay rights, for other kinds of human rights as well, where the campaigners are going against the mainstream paradigm, which says whatever it says, that women are inferior, that slaves are inferior, that black people don't deserve to have the same rights as white, gay people don't deserve to have the same rights as white people. And now we all think, well, many of us think, paradigm has shifted in those cases. So, well, that's mainly we disagree with that. So what are the lessons that we as vegans can learn from the campaigners of the past, because they were successful? And I think we as vegans need to up our game. I'll be sharing my thoughts on this very soon. What do you think? Do you think we can learn lessons from the campaigners of the past or not?